So next to the platform is Ashes to Ashes. But I was trying to find you in the room before I came. Okay, here we go. Come on down.
Hi, good evening. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have to read because if I just speak, I'll take more than 10 minutes, okay? So just bear with me. I'm going to just try and keep it under 10 minutes because other people are presenting, correct? So just bear with me, all right? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try and read and keep it 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay? All right. And I'm nervous. So good night, everyone. My name is Rochelle Hammond, and I'm the founder and director of Ashes to Ashes Memory Park, Jamaica's first eco friendly memory park that transforms cremated remains into living, growing trees. Our mission is simple but powerful to turn grief into growth and ashes into life. So, let's begin with the problem. Traditional burial is expensive, land intensive, and increasingly out of step with our environmental values. Cremation is growing in popularity, but most families are left with ashes in urns and no meaningful place to return to. In Jamaica, there is even a deeper problem. Our cemeteries are a mess. We're selling off our family burial plots for roads, for developments. People want options that feel sacred, personal, and eco conscious, and they don't exist until now. Oh, all right. Our solution, Ashes to Ashes Parks, offers a beautiful, sustainable alternative to the scattering ceremonies, planting ceremonies, and memorials. We want to use biodegradable urns from local bamboos mixed with cremains and seedlings from our forestry department of native Jamaican trees. Families can visit, grieve, reflect in a natural space. And they know that their loved one's legacy is contributing to Jamaica's fauna and flora. We also want to provide a digital legacy. Essentially, we want a digital platform for these plants. So I don't know if you know, there's like a QR code that can be put on tombstones that you can actually scan and see their whole media profiles and what they used to do and who they were. That can be integrated into the whole forest concept. Traction and milestones. So we're not just an idea, we're in motion. I've partnered with one of the main crematoriums, Sam Isaacs, and a few funeral homes are aware of my services. We have done a few scattering ceremonies at sea, and our clients had great feedback, and they were very emotional, and the whole concept that they experienced was very touching for their family members. We've secured 5 acres of land so far. However, I'm running into some issues with parish council and NEPA because they're unable to understand the whole concept because it's very, very new to Jamaica. I've tried, no, I've not tried. I have made partnership with the forestry department so far and with customs, because if you don't know, customs have a whole heap of ashes. Don't, I mean, not customs, but yeah, it is customs that have whole heap of ashes at the airport waiting. Yep, because people don't claim it or they try and bring it into the island. They have no permits and it gets stuck at the airport. All right. Oh, click. All right, so my market opportunity now. So the green burial market is booming, okay? There's a 1.5 million US. But in Jamaica, we have a 3 million population. And our death rate, you know how high that is. But we are looking at least 25 million deaths per year. We know that per year. But you know that traditional burial obviously has the greater percentage. But upon research, Jamaicans are leading towards cremation more, cost purposes, environmental purposes, but cremation is gaining traction in Jamaica. And then there's a diaspora. Millions of people around the world want to maintain a spiritual and ancestral ties to Jamaica. So we're offering them a way to come home, even in death, to honor their loved ones by planting new life on the island. All right, our competitors now. There are other players in the field, but they're not local. There's nobody in Jamaica and nobody in the Caribbean that is doing anything even remotely close to what I'm trying to accomplish. We are trying to combine reforestation, digital legacy, and a cultural relevance in what we're trying to do with Ashes to Ashes. We're the first to the market in the region, and we're rooted in the Jamaican experience. All right, so our products currently include bamboo urns. We have a whole heap of wild bamboo in Jamaica, if you're not aware, and forestry is trying to get rid of some of them because they are invasive species. And I believe that my company can use these bamboos to make eco-friendly urns instead of using the metal and the clays, and because clay can break, by the way, and those other materials. But we also do scattering at sea, which is a very beautiful way of departing, of remembering your loved ones. We have cremation keepsakes and the planting ceremonies, which is the memory part, which I'm trying to develop. So the services, so that was more the products. The services that we're offering also is visitation. So a park vibe instead of a cemetery, instead of a graveyard. Nobody don't want to go to a graveyard. So the whole concept of creating a park, and then the memory trees and the packages and support for families who are going through death. All right, so my business model. So far, we are pretty much selling services and cremation keepsakes. Oops, sorry. Where am I? Right, business model. The packages and the cremation keepsakes and the digital legacy subscription is how we are planning to pretty much make income. So far, we've been doing services. So the scattering at sea and the cremation keepsakes is what we have been selling. Our park has not officially been developed. It's still in its seed plans. Stage, thank you. Go-to-market strategy. We're starting local, working directly with the crematoriums and the funeral homes. We're also building partnership with churches and organizations, environmental organizations, influencers to help families understand and embrace this option. The diaspora, we are trying to reach the diaspora to bring relatives and loved ones back home, the ones who want to be interned in Jamaica. Okay, so my financial overview. We're looking at our first 3 years. We would like to establish our park because we believe that that's where a lot of our revenue will come in when we actually start to do memorial services and do planting ceremonies. And we're looking to do at least 100 memorial plantings within the first year of getting our land. And then some modest start, and we'd like to increase it within the next 3 years into a lot more. Right. So I would describe it as a family business. I've been a scientist for over 20 years. So I'm in the medical field. However, I'm really passionate about afterlife arrangements. I do believe that's a necessity that we need to prepare for. And I kind of roped in my whole entire family into helping me, and they have supported me. Like my previous component, I guess. My husband is my silent investor also. And then I have my sister-in-law who is in the insurance business, and she also helps me. And then I have my child, which is also helping me, but she's an 18-year-old, so she does my tech, my social media, and my website. Okay, so I do believe there's supposed to be a 0 in front of that 1 in regards to what I am looking or asking for, because I need to develop my land. 4 minutes. I need to develop my land. I need to landscaping, I need approval, I need NEPA. There is no structure, so there's no building that's going to be on the land. It's a park, landscaping, that's essentially what's going to be on the land, and I'm trying to develop that. Digital platform, I need to develop that part also, and my marketing and diaspora engagement. Those are my primary needs or ask at this moment. Oh, I'm done. 3 minutes. Awesome. That concludes. I think I'm good now. I can ramble on for another 3 minutes if you want, but I think I'll stop.
Judges, please go ahead with your questions.
All right, thank you. Sometimes I'm nervous as well. I almost fainted once, so yeah, man, I understand. One thing I'll say before I go into the question is that you, when you're making your presentation, you say a lot of can be, I believe, I hope. You have to say it's here. It's no longer an idea. It's an actual business. Speak of it like it's a business. Don't speak of it like it's still an idea.
Have I even noticed that?
But just a point. But one of my questions is around the regulatory issues, because you mentioned that you're currently seeking to buy the 5 acres.
I own the five
you
acres.
own it.
I own it. It's pretty much the permit, because currently it is considered residential, and so I've been through parish council, and so I need to change the use of the land. But the issue that we're having is because of my idea. It's not a cemetery. It's not a grave. It's not. It doesn't fall into their correct. And so that's where I'm having as to what do they call it, or what is it deemed? And I'm trying to tell them it's a green space, and they're like, it's not. And so
Okay, so here's the magic question. If they do not approve it, what's plan B?
find another land that is under the category of what they deem. I have to find the land.
I have follow, but
What?
All right, I'll take it from a different angle, because like him, I had some questions around the legal and regulatory. But I was particularly interested when you started talking about the diaspora, because that definitely is an interesting angle. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it until you said it. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I can see people wanting to come back and be buried in their ancestral homeland and feel that, connection and legacy. And so that was particularly interesting to me. But have you actually started doing any of that kind of marketing? Have you spoken to people in the diaspora to gauge their interest in that?
Yes. So I've done a few of the scattering at sea, and those are the persons that essentially come back home to do the scattering at sea because they've had their ashes for a while, or they've been and their family members are all in Jamaica at one point, and they organize this memorial service at sea.
I'm just envisioning the Come Home campaign.
Okay, so my question, I wanted to know a little bit more about the competitive landscape in which you operate. So I understand that essentially, in a way, you are competing with the traditional funeral homes because they would do the cremation, and then you offer kind of like an additional service in terms of what is done with a loved one's remains. How has that been been received by your customers, and what has that looked like financially for you?
Financially, okay, let's go before that one. So I have to reach persons before death. That's essentially where I'm going, because I cannot go through the funeral homes, I've realized, because once they reach the funeral homes are going to pretty much exactly. So my approach now is to try and inform and educate before a death occurs. So the family members either plan or have an idea, said, this is what I want to do, and make it known to their family members so that you still can go through your funeral homes and have your cremation, because I'm not a crematorium. I'm not a funeral home. I'm an after cremation, so you still can do the traditional church service, the the viewing, whatever you would normally do. However, I would like families to, instead of burying your urn at Dovecot or at Meadowrest, do something meaningful with your loved ones. So that's what I'm trying to reach out to people to say, do something other than Dovecot and Meadowrest. All right. Thank you.